Welcome back. We want to give you a look now at the rebuilt boardwalk in Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
It's looking good.
It looks good. I
Reminds
spent
me of
many a
summer.
high school year partying on that boardwalk.
I bet there's a story or two.
It's called, we had some nicknames for it at high school, which I won't repeat now because it's a wonderful place. Superstorm Sandy destroyed the boardwalk, though, when it made landfall 10 years ago tomorrow.
Yeah. Earlier today, I spoke with New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and I asked him how his administration is, commemorating the devastating storm.
To understand that Superstorm Sandy was not just a storm, it was a wake-up call. And we cannot continue to hit the snooze button, believe that these storms are going to come every 100 years. In fact, it's not. We're seeing this type of devastation due to climate warming happening just about every year and several times a year. We saw what happened in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic and right here in our country in Florida. Our goal is to be prepared to look at some of the coastal conditions. We're putting a shovel in the ground at some of the things that we're doing along our coast, but also to be prepared by looking at how do we use alternative forms of energy so that we don't continue to contribute to the crisis we're facing.
All of that sounds great, but it also sounds very expensive. How on earth can New York afford to pay for this on its own?
It's so true. And some of the funding must come from within the city, and that's what we have been allocated. But this price tag is in the areas of about $8.5 billion. The federal government has an obligation to ensure not only New York City, but all cities that are experiencing sort of coastal flooding, that we have a designated pot of money either through FEMA or the infrastructure of types of bills that would allow us to tap into this money when needed to build these projects. We do it already under other emergencies. We now have to be focusing on these sort of infrastructure buildings that we need moving forward. We can't do it alone. New York sends over $20 billion to the federal government that we don't receive back from taxes. Now is the opportunity to make sure we get the funding we need to build out.
As you know, Mayor, people look to New York to see how to handle some major issues that afflict many other cities. It's just 11 days until Election Day. Crime has become a major issue across the country. And earlier this week, you and Governor Hochul announced an initiative to increase the number of police officers in the New York City subway system. You're going to be paying them overtime. You noted that about 40%, and I think this is important to talk about 40% of the murders in the transit system were believed to have been committed by people with mental health issues. I take the train in and out of New York every day, and I see people along the transit lines at Penn Station. These are people who are in need of great help. How are you going to deal with this growing problem?
Well, and you're so right. And I think that you as a train user, you're part of the 3.5 million people that use our system every day. We have 6 felony crimes a day with 3.5 million people that use our system. We're going to get rid of those 6 felony crimes. But it's more than those actual crimes that's impacting your commute and my commute, because I, too, use the system. It is the feeling of being unsafe as well. So while we deal with the real crimes, we have to deal with the feeling that New Yorkers are having. That's why on January 6th, I immediately put in place our operation to remove the encampments, also to zero in on those who are sleeping in our subway system. For years, we were walking by them, ignoring them. And I said, not under this administration. We allowed over 2,000 people that were living on the system to go into safe havens and other shelters so they can get wraparound services. Now we are moving to the second phase of our subway safety plan that is going to deal with those who are on our system, and you can visibly tell they should not be there. They may be barefoot. They may be talking to themselves, yelling and screaming. We are having our mental health professionals partner with our police with the new support that we received from the governor with 50 new mental health psychiatric beds, and so that we can put people in the care they need. Too many people are on the system that should not be there. They are in danger to themselves. They're in danger to others, and we are zeroing in on that.
And let me ask you about another big issue, the migrant crisis. New York City has been one of a handful of northeastern cities that have seen migrants being bussed from the border. You've had to improvise to deal with the influx of migrants. But, you know, the argument that we get from some of these border states and these governors and other representatives is that, hey, what you're feeling is just a fraction of what they have to deal with along the U.S.-Mexico border on a regular basis. And it's time for some of these northeastern cities and states to handle their fair share of the burden. How do you respond to that?
Well, the entire country should deal with the migrant issue. This is a national problem, and those bordering elected officials and governmental officials that were dealing with this crisis calls for coordination. That's where we went wrong. Those who were not willing to coordinate, it is unfair to say that if my municipality here in New York is experiencing something, I'm going to just displace it to another municipality. No, let's coordinate together and figure out how do we, number one, on a unified voice, speak to our national government, and two, how do we absorb some of the crises that one of our neighboring states is actually experiencing, because we're all Americans and we are in this together. We're not made up of different localities based on where we live, but when it comes down to, we're all Americans, and we did not do that here. That is why I was clear and stated what New York was going through, what we have done, what we're doing now, and most importantly, to call on the federal government to put in place a decompression strategy. And I'm glad Washington heard me. We were able to put in that strategy. We went from an average of 10 buses a day down to about, I believe, 1 or 2 this week. The mayor of El Paso reached out and stated he would no longer send buses here to New York. And we're seeing the planning and operation we did during this crisis actually play out the way it's supposed to be, that we come together as a country to resolve this issue. We need a national immigrant policy to deal with how we're going to deal with migrant and asylum seekers.
So the coordination that is happening now, is that the kind of coordination that if it had happened in the beginning, you would have been more than willing to take on these busloads of migrants?
Yes, and you know what's interesting? New York State, we have some of the highest numbers of migrant and asylum seekers here. We open our doors to those who came from Ukraine after the war. We open our doors to other entities. We're a right to shelter city. We know what it is to be a diverse city. We are one of the most diverse locations in this entire country, if not the entire globe. We will always live up to our legal and moral responsibility to help those who are pursuing this great dream we call America, because believe it or not, at one time or another, all of us had our ancestors that arrived here at these shores trying to pursue that same dream.
Mayor Eric Adams, thank you very much.
Thank you.